No, no, no. He was talking to a statue, Alex. A life-sized Pingu statue in a parking lot at night. This is the man I called a humble everyman eating sad desk sandwiches, and you're telling me he's now giving motivational speeches to a ceramic penguin?
I believe the intern described it as low energy, just like the press release. The man's stock is at $102, and he's out there coaching a figurine like it owes him a better opening weekend. Last week you said he was an empire builder. Turns out the empire is built on guacamole and penguin therapy.
Okay. Welcome back, everybody, to Umpire Magazine, The Hot Take. We should probably explain. I'm Jamie, he's Alex, and we are apparently starting this episode mid-crisis because Tom Vandenberge has lost his mind in the most entertaining way possible.
Hello, I'm here. The magazine is calling this entire week the Beige Age of Follywood, and honestly, that's the most poetic thing anyone in this industry has produced, including every film currently in cinemas.
But before we get into the beige of it all, Alex, last week you stood on this podcast and said cinema is broken, and I am vindicated in my misery. Those were your exact words. You backed Bite hard, it made pocket change, and you spiraled. I need to know, has your emotional state improved at all?
It has not. Because this week, the magazine looked at the top 14 earners and found exactly one film above a 5. One. The Summer of Discontent. In Paris squeaked out a 6, and the magazine says that makes it the Citizen Kane of its generation. A 6 is now Citizen Kane. I was right to be miserable. Misery was the only rational response.
But Summer of Discontent in Paris pulled 15.2 million, Alex. That's bronze. That's a podium finish for quality. Last week I said quality finds a way, and you mocked me. And here it is, finding a way, right into third place.
And what's in first? Cave Lost. Again, 16.2 million this week, 56.5 total, 4 out of 10. The magazine says audiences keep stumbling into cinemas like the spelunkers in the film itself, lost, confused, but oddly committed. Last week I said this film proved we're going backwards as a civilization. We have continued backwards. We have lapped ourselves.
56.5 million, though. That's the highest grossing title on the entire board. And look, Pitch Black, the actual boss of Pitch Black Pictures, put out a press release saying it's all about the enjoyment of the fans, not the critics. And you know what? 56 million fans agree with him.
And traders disagreed with him to the tune of a 1.5% stock drop. The magazine notes he keeps checking the Follywood critics score every 4 minutes while simultaneously telling everyone it doesn't matter. There's reportedly a motivational poster in his boardroom that reads, "Critics equals clowns." He bought it the same week. The self-awareness is breathtaking in its absence.
Okay, the poster is a bit much. But the man has conviction, Alex. He's standing by his film. Meanwhile, Iron House, his other film, muscled into second at 15.5 million. And sure, it's a 4 out of 10. But remember last week when you roasted Pitch Black for rejecting 17 pages of the Iron House script for not being dark enough? The darkness strategy clearly moved some tickets.
It moved tickets into a 4 out of 10. The man now has the number 1 and number 2 grossing films in Follywood, and they're both 4s. He's cornered the market on mediocrity. He is the OPEC of adequate cinema.
Now, the trading card war. We covered this last week. Mr. T of Anubis Corporation declared all-out trading card war on Pitch Black at 2 a.m. on a Wednesday. And I said, traders believed in the bravado. The magazine is now calling it the most aggressively cardboard conflict since the Great Foil variant dispute of last quarter.
And a Pitch Black representative was spotted at a hobby shop buying a binder. That's the response. Last week they changed their memo font to an aggressive sans serif. This week they're buying card binders. The escalation trajectory here is genuinely riveting. By June, someone will sharpen a pencil pointedly and we'll call it an arms race.
Follywood Bank issued an advisory that literally said we have absolutely no idea how to value this. but we are very entertained. The analysts are entertained, Alex. The financial sector is having more fun than moviegoers.
Because the financial sector is watching better drama. Now, can we talk about Tom Vandenberge and the nachos? Because this is where I need everyone to sit down. Tom allegedly outbid Buck Thornton of Explodovision for an exclusive wrap party nacho contract. He doesn't even like nachos. He just didn't want Buck to have them.
Last week, he was measuring parking spaces at the Fantasy Filmmaker Exchange building. I said he went from sad desk sandwiches to corporate manifest destiny. And now he's conducting a guacamole embargo. The man is waging economic warfare through appetizers. Explodovision's stock dipped 0.5 point on the news.
He was photographed eating a salad with the expression of a man who had won. That sentence is in the magazine, and I want it framed above my bed. He doesn't want the nachos. He wants Buck to not have the nachos. This is the purest form of pettiness I have ever witnessed, and I am in awe.
Okay, honestly, same. I respect Tom's nacho diplomacy. But Alex, the new release is coming Thursday. Brace yourself. It's a wall of fours. Snar and Shores. A Flemish garden fantasy about ancient sheet music making a garden come alive. 4 out of 10. Jerry Goldsmith. The documentary. $37.4 million budget. 4 out of 10. And the magazine says it feels cheaper than a student film shot on an iPhone.
$37 million. For a documentary. That looks like an iPhone film. Someone laundered that budget through the most incompetent car wash in cinema history. And then there's Bag Up, a documentary about competitive teabagging. And yes, actual tea at 4 out of 10. The magazine had to clarify it was about tea, which tells you everything about Follywood's brand identity right now.
But God is a She? Volume 2 got a 5. A 5, Alex? A deity teaching at a Miami middle school. The magazine calls it a positively radiant 5 out of 10 and says in this climate it's basically a standing ovation. I'm clapping. I'm giving this film I haven't seen a standing ovation based purely on not being a 4.
We have reached the point where a 5 triggers a standing ovation. Last week I said we were averaging a 4 and going backwards. This week the magazine literally calls it the 4 out of 10 apocalypse. I'm not a prophet, Jamie. I'm just a man cursed with accurate pessimism.
Meanwhile, at the bottom, game over. $383,000. The magazine says that wouldn't cover the catering budget on a short film about catering budgets. Last week, it made $607,000, and we said it was living up to its name. It has now lived up to its name even harder. Game truly, comprehensively over.
And Wrestle Max, still misspelled on the poster, still Result Max, managed just over $1 million at 3 out of 10. Last week I said the typo had outlived the film's commercial viability, and I was right. The magazine says spell check was the first budget casualty. That typo is going to outlive us all.
Oh, and Piet Snot of PSP was overheard telling a potted fern that Planet of the Pigs. The Wingine Rebellion basically wrote itself during a very confusing weekend in the countryside. A fern, Alex. Tom talks to penguins. Piet talks to ferns. The vending machine CEO is negotiating residual rights with a snack dispenser. Every executive in Follywood is having conversations with inanimate objects.
And Lens Flare Larry commissioned his 3rd logo redesign this year, each one blurrier than the last. Rival studios are sending him lens cloths as gifts. He returns them unopened. This man is committed to not seeing clearly and honestly. He fits right in.
Okay, but here's my hot take for the week, and I need you to hear me out. The Summer of Discontent. In Paris is going to cross 30 million. It's the only film above a 5. Quality will find a way. I said it about Hard Peanut. I said it about Bite Hard. And I'm saying it now because optimism is a renewable resource, and I have solar panels, Alex.
Your solar panels are pointed at a cave, Jamie. Cave Lost is going to hit 70 million before anything good cracks the top spot. But fine, I'll give you this one thing. Summer of Discontent. In Paris at 15